President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan of Turkey has asked Saudi Arabia to disclose details as to who gave the order to kill journalist Jamal Khashoggi and where his body is. But he said that Turkey has more information about the case than it has shared so far. Erdogan maintained that Riyadh needs to reveal the identity of the so-called local cooperator who Saudi officials claimed had taken Khashoggi's body from the Saudi agents after he was killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul on the 2nd of October.
Bir manası olmayan fuzuli tartışmalarla emniyet, istihbarat ve yargı birimlerimizin titiz çalışmaları sonucunda mesele büyük ölçüde aydınlandı. Ve yine bakıyorsunuz ki Suudi önemli bir yetkili şu ifadeyi de kullanıyor. Diyoruz ki öldürüldü, artık ayan beyan ortada da. Nerede? Bu cesedi göstermeniz lazım. Tabii elimizde başka bilgi, belge yok değil. Var. Gün ola harman ola. Ama çok aceleci olmanın da anlamı yok. Şimdilik ilk etapta bir defa Khashoggi'yi öldürenleri Suudi yetkililer açıklayacak. Pazar günü başsavcıyı Türkiye'ye gönderiyorlar. İstanbul'da başsavcımızla bir araya gelecekler, görüşmeler yapacaklar. Tabii şimdi burada şöyle bir soru ortaya çıkıyor. Bu 18 kişi Jamal Khashoggi'nin kimler tarafından öldürüldüğünü biliyor. Bunun başka izahı yok. Çünkü fail bunların içinde. Aslında fail belli. Şimdi buradan bir şey daha çıkıyor ortaya. Peki bu talimatı veren kim? Bu 15+3, 15 kişinin Türkiye'ye gelmesi talimatını veren kim?
Yesterday, Saudi Arabia admitted that the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, who was a columnist for the Washington Post newspaper and a critic of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, was a premeditated crime. For Saudi Arabia, it was a reversal from its previous statement that Khashoggi's was an unintended death and he died after a fist fight. His murder sparked global outrage. It has snowballed into a crisis for the world's top oil exporting country and the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
I'm standing in the middle of the Belgrade Forest. Belgrade Forest is 35 kilometers away from the city of Istanbul. Belgrade Forest was established in 18th century by the Ottomans. And Ottomans named it Belgrade because they rehabilitated the Serbs from the Belgrade city. Now, this place holds water reservoir which till today feeds the city of Istanbul. But it came into a lot of news. And it came into a lot of news recently because of Khashoggi's brutal murder. The death squad which flew in from Saudi Arabia actually wrecked this place. A car came out of the Saudi consulate and went inside the Belgrade Forest where I'm standing today. Belgrade Forest is big, 5,000 hectares. That's the size. And it went inside the forest, disappeared in it for hours, and later the car was abandoned by the Saudis in a desolate parking lot. But it also proves the suspicion of the Turkish authorities. Turkey has been saying that it was not an interrogation which went wrong. It was not a killing. It was a pre-planned murder of a Saudi journalist. Now, the reason for the Turkish authorities to believe this is that who does recce of a forest before the murder? Who goes inside the forest before the murder? And the fact is, you look at this dense forest. Do you think that if a body part has been dispersed here, thrown around here, will it be possible to go through every nook and corner of a forest which is spread over 5,000 hectares? And why did they do recce there? Who does a recce before murder? So these are the questions which the Saudi Arabian government has not answered. Turkey feels that it falls into their theory that they really wanted to murder Khashoggi, and it is for this reason every planning was done in Istanbul. With camera person Sanjay Rohila, Kartikeya Sharma from Belgrade Forest for World is One.
Kartikeya Sharma also caught up with Onur Erim. He's a noted Turkish author and former advisor to the ruling AK party of Turkey. Erim explains why President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan is going to push this case to its logical conclusion.
I'm joined by Onur Erim, a noted author and a known political analyst in Turkey. Thank you. Thank you for making time for Wion. Let me begin this conversation by asking you, why has Khashoggi's story become so big and important for Turkey?
Well, you have to realize, although Khashoggi murder has now, we understand, or has now been confirmed, took place in the Saudi Arabian consulate, that it's a sovereign piece of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it is also within the Republic of Turkey. According to the Vienna Convention, which protects diplomatic missions and diplomats in many ways, it does leave out things as such, crimes that are known to any country, including Turkey. Why Turkey has leaned so much upon this story was simply because the KSA has had a big lie from the beginning, and Turkey felt very disrupted by this. Now that we're continuing on this course, we are, I think, overlooking a couple of things. Number one, had this not come out, this murder could have been blamed in the country of Turkey, or that, quote unquote, that Turkey is an unsecure place to visit, because it's a major figure in the world media. It's a well-known figure to be opposing the KSA, or the governing body of the KSA, I should say. So Turkey had felt very disturbed by this. And as we have seen in the last 20-25 days now, President Erdogan, despite the fact that he was being blamed otherwise, has really stood in his place from day one, that he wants the truth to come out, because human life to him, whether it's a world-renowned figure of media or just a regular person, is very important, and he's been keen on that stand from day one.
What are the financial implications of this issue? Because ultimately, Saudi Arabia might not be a fledgling economy, but it sits on huge reserves, both oil and money. And Turkey in itself is a different economy. So what are the financial implications of this deadlock, or I would say a realignment of relationship between Turkey and Saudi Arabia?
Well, Turkey, it's no secret that Turkey and Saudi Arabia has not in best of terms in the last few years. Especially Turkey's very good relationship with Qatar, and their very bad relationship with the same country. So things have been a little bit on the back burner for a while. But it seems that this actually is bringing the two countries closer together. Especially we saw how MBS made an announcement just a day ago, that the relationship between Turkey and Saudi Arabia is one to stay, and it is unbreakable. So we shall see. But on the Saudi Arabian side, KSA, with the MBS coming to power, has been, showed a very different, standard from what they have been used to. With the last economic meeting that they held, calling it I think that was in the desert, has been influenced, as we saw. A lot of people did not attend, and some, others did. MBS is trying to, from what we've seen from the beginning, has been trying to shift Saudi Arabia's economy into a different level. He wants it to be oil dependent, free of oil dependency, or free of the dependency on the income of the oil. We'll see if that's going to be possible. This is definitely a major dent in that endeavor, because no one will want to invest in a country where we know the country has lied in a major way in the last 20 days on this incident. We now know that a part or a part of it, or the entire governing body of the country, has actually massacred its own citizen on its own soil, and these are very, very bad things. If you want to attract, international investors, you're going to catch more bees with honey than vinegar, and right now, vinegar is all they got.
Journalist Khashoggi's brutal killing in the Saudi consulate is one of the worst examples of human rights violation and the way journalists are treated in countries which are not democracies. But this event has altered the political relationship between Islamic countries. It has become a way for one country to assert against the other. Wion brings you the finer details of Khashoggi's investigation and those stories which are not part of the mediascape. From Ground Zero, Kartikeya Sharma from Istanbul for Wion.